I do. So, COP has their annual ESG conference every year, where they, try to provide knowledge, but also, set some goals for the future. So, I'm curious, what are your thoughts, and do you feel that that conference has been impactful?
Well, it gets attention, so it keeps the conversation going, and the fact that it's annual keeps it fresh. There were high hopes for the last one, COP26 in Glasgow. Um, but the track record of the parties, the conference of the parties, the countries that bring their pledges and their ability to actually live up to those pledges is pretty pathetic. Nobody is living up to their pledges. And the Secretary General of the United Nations is becoming pretty direct in basically calling countries liars. They come with their pledges and they don't follow through on them. So even if the difficulty is that even if they did accomplish their pledges, they wouldn't be able to do what needs to be done. So we need to keep the temperature of the world globally less than 1.5 degrees centigrade above pre-industrial levels. If all of their pledges were satisfied, the ones they brought to Glasgow, it would only get us to 2.7 degrees centigrade. So that's not good enough. So not only are the pledges not being met, even if they were met, they're not good enough. So the courage of countries to do what needs to be done um, is not evident. In Europe, countries can get away with more leadership at the government level than we can in North America. Governments in North America are supposed to be small and out of the way. Um, so I think we need to engage the business community more proactively in this and to have them bring their pledges to these efforts as well, because many of them are there, and make darn sure that we are engaging public and private sector folks on doing what needs to be done and stop dancing around on this and make darn sure we understand short term and long term, long being 2050, short term being 2030 targets, and how the heck we're going to make those targets, not only in the industrialized world, but in the developing world as well. And we can't pull this off without business being engaged, and they're definitely not engaged. They don't even have targets. Don't even have targets. There was a survey done, the results came out this week of large companies and how many of them had targets for scope 1, scope 2, and scope 3. And only 20% had scope 1 and 2 targets, and only 10% had scope 3 targets. Those are large companies. SMEs, it's under 2%. I mean, they're totally on the sidelines waiting for government to fix this. That's not acceptable. So we have to get them much more engaged, and we know how to do that, so we should just do it.
Yeah.
So the COP is it's a good lightning rod for discussion, but man, the vested interests that are dominating the dialogue, the fossil fuel sector, and the influence that they have on what is finally decided is really quite scary. I mean, I knew they were good. I didn't realize they were that good on being able to um, control the message. So I don't know what the overall answer is, but I really think that it's time that the COP pledges and actions between pledges, between COPs, really picked up the pace.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. So we have governments coming with their pledges. It sounds like they don't have a plan on how they're going to meet those pledges. And then the business community, which is a very large part of society, is not even a part of it. So,
Right.
that doesn't seem very sustainable to me.
No, we need to fix that.
Right. Um, yeah. So, like, I think your point on having to involve business is definitely the right way to go because, again, business it makes up a huge chunk of what actually happens, and obviously businesses have their own carbon footprints to deal with as well. So there, it goes back to cooperation. Um, we can't really just expect the government to keep, handing out fines or trying to create regulation to deal with it. There has to be, firms have to step up as well. The business world needs to step up and do their part. And it sounds like they're not fully vested at this point.